say that put in pain. Remember lockdown, popping bottles, getting restrained.
Good evening and welcome to the online book launch for Ben Butler. Ben, the author actually, Ben J. Butler, the author of Misunderstood. My name is Marcia Spence and I'm the director of Marcia M. Publishing House, and I've had the privilege of working with Ben over a number of months, I think it was maybe even about a year, to produce this amazing book, Misunderstood. I'd now like to, welcome everyone. Welcome. Show me your hands. Ben, where are you? Give us a wave. Okay. To all your fans. We'll probably be letting people in as we go along. I'm just going to check if we've got that's it. More people coming. We'll just give a couple of minutes and I'll play some more music for you while we wait. Just a couple of minutes. So I know we've got a lot of people registered. So we'll just hold on a minute. Let me find another tune that Ben likes. Hold on a minute. Actually, I can play some more of this.
Romans, Asian and get some gold. When gold was converted to money, it all changed. Money then became empowerment for Europeans. The Persian military invaded. They heard about the gold, the teachings, and everything sacred. Africa was almost robbed naked. Slavery was money, so they began making slave ships. Egypt was the place that Alexander the Great went. He was a shot to the mountains with black faces. Shot up their nose to impose what basically still goes on today. You see, if this told that you can grow. You learn to survive until they gain control. Nobody says you have to be gangster. Read more, learn more, change the globe. Ghetto children, do your thing. Put your head up, little man, you're a king. Tell princess when you get your wedding ring, your man is saying, she's my queen. I know I can be what I want to be. I work hard and then I'll be where I want to be. What I want to be. So work hard in it. I want to be. Save the music, y'all. Save the music, y'all. Save the music, y'all. Save the music, y'all. Save the music.
Right, welcome to Ben's online launch. We're now going to introduce Ben J. Butler, and I'm going to invite Shelley to read about the author. Over to you, Shelley.
Hello, good evening, everyone. Okay, so Benjamin Junior Butler. Ben was born in Shrewsbury in 1986. He comes from a background filled with a turbulent childhood, of physical and racial abuse. Having not had proper guidance and nurture at such a young age, Ben ended up in prison for choosing a wrong path in life. He was involved in knife crime, violence, and drugs. This resulted in a shattering blow to his mental health. Through ups and downs, he turned it all around. Since then, he has served in the armed forces and worked in a residential care home looking after vulnerable children. Ben's organisation helps disengaged and at-risk youth. His goal is to inspire the new generation and show that there is support and positive role models out there. Ben had and still has many bumps in the road with mental health issues, but he keeps on going because he wants his kids to see that their dad is strong and has overcome many obstacles in life and refuses to back down. Ben wants to leave a positive legacy in his children by making sure that they live and lead a better life than he had growing up. This is his journey so far. He's not looking for sympathy or forgiveness of others, as he has made peace with his past already and forgave himself for what he didn't know better. Ben's memoir, Misunderstood, seeks to promote understanding of society's view of marginalised children. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Shelley. And I'm now going to invite, Ben, you can say a quick hello to everyone, but don't say too much yet.
Yeah, sorry. Hello, thank you for everyone that's joined as well. Really appreciate it. I know there's a few more trying to join.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank you so much, and I'll speak after.
Right. I'm now going to invite Joanna Oliver, who wrote the foreword for the book, to speak and share her words of wisdom in terms of you, Ben, and your book. Joanna, are you able to join us now? I know she's there. Okay. What I'll do, I'm going to start reading the foreword, and then when Joanna can join us, she's online, but I know that she's traveling at the same time. So Joanna, as soon as you can just come on camera. Oh, she's coming back in. Let's give her a moment. Hi, Joe.
Hello. Hi. Yeah, I'm
Sorry
really
to...
sorry. Hello. Lovely to see you all. But I did say I wouldn't be home until 5 to 8.
Okay.
So I'm not able to do any of that until I get home. I'm so
Okay,
sorry.
that's fine. We'll
All
invite you
right.
then. That's
Thank
absolutely
you.
fine. Thank you, Joanna. Thank
you.
you. Okay. I'm now going to, before we go into a reading, in fact, I'm going to invite Ben to give us a reading from his book.
Okay, so this is chapter 3, a kid pretending to be a man. It happened near the river that cut through the estate like a scar. My mate rang me, said some lads have jumped in. I didn't even ask who or why. You didn't in those days. Loyalty was automatic. It was early evening, the damp Shrewsbury night where the air smells of mud and iron. My mate's lip was split, his eye already swelling. They're down there, he said, nodding towards the bend in the river. We walked quietly, hoods up, trainers crunching on the gravel. You could hear the water moving slowly. There were about 3 or 4 of them by the bank, smoking and laughing. One saw us, called out, "What you saying then?" And that was it. No build up, no warning, just fists, mud, shouts, splashes, breathing turning to steam. Someone grabbed my hood and yanked me backwards. I spun, swung wildly, connected with something soft. I heard a grunt, felt knuckles split against my skin. I ended up grappling with one of the lads at the right end, right at the edge. The river smell was strong, like rotting weeds and cold metal. He hit me across the ear, and the world went white. I shoved him back, he slipped and scrambled up again. Then there was a shout, "Police!" Everyone scattered. As we were walking off, still buzzing, my mate stopped and pointed. "What's that on your leg?" I looked down and there was something sticking out of the back of my calf. At first, I thought it was a twig. I reached back and touched it. It was glass, the neck end of a broken bottle. At first, I felt nothing, just numb shock. Then the heat came, a deep burning pain that made my stomach twist. Blood ran into my stock, warm and sticky. I said, "What the fuck?" And the other crowds round. Someone shouted, "Leave it in," but I'd already pulled it out. The sound made a wet pop, will never leave me. Blood sprayed onto the dirt, dark and thick. I wrapped my t-shirt around the wound, pulling it tight. My mate said I needed to go to hospital. I said, "No, I'll be fine." Didn't want to look weak, didn't want to explain. I limped away from the river, laughing loudly, pretending it was nothing. Every step was fire. The blood kept coming, soaking through the fabric, dripping onto my one trainer. I could feel it squelch when I walked. When I got home, I washed it in a sink. The water went pink, the red. The cut was long and jagged, like someone had carved a smile into the back of my leg. I didn't go to hospital, just wrapped it around tighter and went to bed. By the morning, my jeans had stuck to the wound, peeling them off hurt worse than the stabbing. I remember laughing while tears ran down my face. That was the kind of boy I'd become, hurting and laughing at the same time. After all, I walked differently, thought different. I wasn't invincible, but I started acting like I was. Every time I looked at the scar, I felt proud and scared, proud that I survived and scared of what I was turning into.
Wow.
Do you want to carry on?
That's wonderful. Do you want to read
Yeah.
a bit more?
I can do, yeah.
Just a little bit more. Yeah.
After that night by the river, something hardened in me. I stopped flinching when people shouted. I stopped caring what happened next. The scar on my leg became a part of me, proof that pain didn't kill you, that it can make you feel alive for a while. I started carrying knives at first. I told myself it was just for cutting up resin, but that wasn't truth. It was for safety, or at least the idea of safety. Having it in my pocket made me feel less powerless. By then, the police already knew my name. My school records had red flags everywhere, aggressive behaviour, poor attendance, possible domestic issues. I was categorised as a child in need, meaning I needed monitoring and my family needed support. I had a social worker who came to see me now and then, and he took me to places like McDonald's and to cafes for coffees. He was nice enough, always wore a suit, always smelled clean. He'd sit across with me with his notepad asking me how things were at home. I never told him anything real. I didn't trust him. He wasn't one of us. Years later, we met again by chance, and he laughed. When I told him why I never spoke to him, I said, well, you weren't black. You never lived it. You wore a suit. He said he understood, but I don't think he really did. I was drifting. I was running away some nights, staying at mates' houses, down the tracks where the lines split. There was an abandoned building there where smashed windows and graffitis were all over the walls. We turned it into our place, dragged in old sofas, found a radio, even a grill. We had our own little world. We'd sit there all night smoking, drinking cheap cider, playing music for a bus speaker, pretending the world outside didn't exist. For those hours I could breathe. Then I'd go home and it'd all start again. The shouting, the fear, the fists. That's when I started selling resin for Rab. I knew it wasn't smart, but it gave me money, it gave me purpose. I didn't feel small when I was doing something grown. One night, my stepdad grabbed me by the throat. In another fight, I could feel my pulse beating against his hand. I reached for the knife in my pocket, not even thinking. I swung up, but the blade snapped against his arm, cheap metal. It didn't even break his skin. He called the police anyway. They charged me with ABH and gave me a reprimand. I was 11. After that, I stopped pretending to be the victim and I told myself I was the one in control now. Every bruise felt like a reason to fight harder. Every insult felt like a dare. By 14, 15, I'd been stabbed, arrested, grounded, beaten, and somehow I thought I was winning. That's when everything blurred together. Gangs, drugs, fights, nights that ended in flashing blue lights. I didn't see it as danger. I saw it as belonging. It was a warm summer afternoon, the kind where everything smells of smoke and grass. Someone's mum was out, so we had the garden to ourselves, music blasting, cheap cider in plastic cups. Everyone laughing too loud for once. I felt light, just another lad having a good time. Then he showed up, the same lad who used to drag me down the stairs years before, calling me names, spitting on me, making me feel less than human. He came swaggering in like he owned the place, shouting and joking, showing off. The laughter died down as soon as he spoke. Everyone could feel the shift. I tried to ignore him. I really did. I'd grown used to swallowing things, keeping them inside, but then he started mouthing off about my mate's sister, some nasty stuff. He laughed like it was nothing. Then I felt something snap inside me. I was holding a barbecue skewer, still warm from the grill. I remember looking at it, feeling the heat through the metal, hearing the sizzle of the meat still clinging to the tip. Then I looked at him. He smirked like he knew I wouldn't do anything. I didn't even think. My arm just moved. Then the sound made when it hit him was half a pop, half hiss that will never leave me. He screamed, clutching his arm. People shouted. Someone dropped a can, and the music kept playing for a second before someone turned it off. The smell of burnt meat mixed with blood and smoke. He ran off through the back gate, bleeding. I just stood there, skewer still in my hand, heart thudding so loud it drowned everything out. Part of me felt strong, part of me felt sick. Later, when the police came, I didn't resist. They said racially aggravated assault. The irony of that hit me like another punch. The only black kid charged with racial assault. In the cell, everything was quiet, just me, the hum of light, and that slow echoing drip from the tap. I remember staring at the wall and seeing everything once. My mum's face twisted with anger, my stepdad's fists, Rab's yellow curtains, the flash of the river, that lad's face when the skewer hit. It all ran together into one feeling, anger, but underneath that anger, there was something else, something small and frightened. I didn't want to admit it even to myself. When I got out, the story had already spread. Lads who'd barely spoken to me before were nodding, clapping my shoulder, calling me a mad bastard. Older ones invited me to drink with them, come to football matches, stand with the crowd. They talked about loyalty, about never backing down, about brotherhood for the first time. I felt seen, not loved, just seen. They gave me new trainers, few drinks, and a sense that I mattered. When everyone went home, I'd still awake, staring at the scar on my leg or the scab on my knuckles, wondering if this was it, if this was who I was now. A fighter, a liar, a kid pretending to be a man. Some nights I'd scrub my skin raw, wishing I could scrape off everything. The memories, the fear, even my colour. I didn't know who I was, not white enough, not black enough, just angry, tired, and lost.
Wow, Ben. A kid pretending to be a man. How did it feel reading that?
Do you know what? Honestly, I haven't even read my book because I don't like bringing trauma. I don't like going through like trauma in it. So that
Yeah.
was the first time.
You read
I've obviously read bits and bobs when we've done when we've gone to talks or when we've done things. But yeah, it's I can remember that occasion when I put that barbecue skewer through that lad's arm.
It's come back to you. Okay.
Yeah.
So Ben, there's a lot of violence in that chapter.
Mm.
So where was that coming from?
Trying to feel accepted into something that I didn't know didn't know what it was at the time, I don't think. Trying to not be the victim, because I always felt like I was a victim. Anger towards, especially that lad. It's funny because me and him speak quite well now and get on. But anger towards how he treated me, especially like as a kid hanging around with him and other people. I felt he was a friend, but really he was just trying to bully me. Rab, obviously, he's passed away now, but it brings the stepdad situation. Whether I don't regret anything I did to him, and I won't ever regret it, because at that time and still to this day, he bullied me for years, along with my mum, and he deserved what he got, and that's how I'll always feel. Even though I have been to the pub and had a pint with him, And I know he had a lot of stuff going on in his relationship, but I was just a young kid who at that time was rejected by his own flesh and blood and not knowing who his dad was, and getting taken a piss out of, basically. So you can only push someone to a certain extent before they snap.
Okay. Thank you so much, Ben. Right. What I'm going to do, I'm going to let you have a little break off the camera. Stay on, but not on the spotlight. And I'm going to invite Joanna, if she is available now, to
Yeah.
read it forward. Wonderful. Right, I'm going to bring you on camera. Give Ben a little breather. And I'm just going to find you, Joe. All right, I'm going to spotlight you and I'm going to remove myself. And it's over to you.
Hey.
And it's wonderful to see you. It's been a long
You
time.
too, Marcy.
Yeah.
It's been a very long time.
Yes, it has.
And I think, along with kind of the connection with Ben, it just goes to show how small the world is.
Absolutely.
I've worked with Marcia in different ways before,
Yeah.
and she's happens to be the person that connected with Ben for the
Yeah.
book. Not anything to do with me, right? It was a
Yeah.
separate thing. So I always find that quite amazing, but obviously meant to happen. Okay, so thank you. I thank you for inviting me to kind of share the forward in words, actually verbally. And it was a complete honour to be asked to do the forward. So I'm just going to read it now. So I first connected with Ben in 2020 on LinkedIn when he reached out to me to see if I could help him to raise funds for the work he was doing, mentoring young people. And my first words in the message was, I've looked at your profile. What a journey. Congratulations on turning your life around. And since then, I've seen a multitude of ways how Ben has grown. And throughout it all, he's remained consistent in his authentic identity. There's always a sense of what you see is what you get with Ben. I would say that our paths were destined to cross because, to my amazement, Ben's from Telford, which is also my hometown, where I was born and grew up. Some of Ben's experiences, especially related to racial abuse, completely resonate. It wasn't easy growing up black in Telford Newtown in the 70s and 80s, let alone without the multiple horrors that Ben faced. Ben has always been really open with me about his challenges, derived from his adverse childhood experiences. And if I were to share one dominant message about Ben, it would be that he acknowledges his vulnerability whilst walking in his strength. In many ways, Ben embodies the whole spectrum of adversity, from a range of abuse forms, domestic violence, the care system, drug abuse, mental ill health, and neurodivergence, alongside criminal exploitation and enduring incarceration in the criminal justice system. I was thankful to Ben for agreeing to be interviewed as one of my research collaborators for my doctoral narrative research, which documents the experience of the criminal justice system for Black young men who are autistic. Ben's words will always ring in my ears. I learned to be Black in prison. A shocking truth that reflects failings in our society. Not only has Ben transmuted learning from his experience to improve his own life, but to generate cultural capital in engaging young people in schools and those who are care experienced. As someone who knows firsthand the pervasive nature of trauma, Ben is a credible messenger for these young people who very often may feel like no one truly understands them. My high regard for Ben is unending. Oh, gonna get emotional. As I'm feeling that, because it's real.
I can feel it.
Yeah. And to bear witness to this book, spoken of early on in our relationship, Ben's always said he wanted to write a book. And then having the honour of writing the foreword to that book is a complete honour and privilege. And I just want to say, and it's in the foreword, but I actually want to say, Ben, thank you for trusting me. Yeah, that's it.
Thank you, Joe. I love you to bits.
Linked in, hey?
Any response to that? Yeah, great response to Joanna. And for me, I feel emotional now because it has been wonderful working with both of you on this, you know. And just like you, Joe, I'm not on camera. Let me come on camera for a moment. To start my video, and I'll come on. Just to say as well that like yourself, Joe, you found a connection with Ben because you both grew up in Telford at different times.
Mm.
And then along the journey for myself and Ben, we found out that we are related. We are distant cousins. And
Amazing.
it's just crazy. And so, yeah, the power of LinkedIn, but I think more so the power of the universe, the power of the divine in bringing us together. And so, you know, I just know that for Ben and this book, there's so much love. Like, you know, he was brought around people who absolutely will give him that love and that do love him. We do love, I love you, Ben, too.
Yeah, I love you too, Ben.
Yeah. And it's been wonderful,
Love you,
you
man.
know, working with you and getting to know you as well. Gosh, what an emotional thing. It is really. Thank you, Joanna. It's lovely to see you. And hopefully I'll speak to you again soon. Thank you. Right. Let's remove Joe. Right. I'm now going to invite a reviewer, a gentleman who took his time. He bought a copy of the book, didn't know Ben at all, read the book, put his review on Amazon, also sent me lots of messages about the book as well, Ben. So I'm going to invite Denny Senior to give his review. Welcome, Denny. Surprise, surprise. You're muted at the moment. You're muted. But I know that you are a fan of Ben. So, Ben, this is one of your fans here, this gentleman. You need to
Oh,
just,
bro.
that's it. Unmute yourself, Denny. Press the microphone. We can see your mouth moving. That's it.
That's it. Okay. Anyway, thanks for the surprise, Marcia. I wasn't really expecting this, but what I'll do, I'm one of Marcia's many authors, and I had my book published a couple of years ago now. One of the reasons I bought this book, I had a Zoom meet. I was involved in a Zoom meeting with Ben. I've never met Ben, but I was aware of him. See one of Marcia's Zoom meeting with all the authors, and when he gave a summary of his life, I had to buy that book because I love real life stories, and I love when it involves the bad guy becomes a good guy kind of thing.
Mm.
And I got the impression from the book it's a must read. So what I'll do this moment in time, because I bought the book more as soon as it came out just before Christmas. And by the way, Ben, you've probably seen the review. I'm Denny S.
Yeah, I've seen the review on Amazon already, so I appreciate you.
Yes, so I just put my name as Denny S. So what I'll do now, I'll actually read the review so you can see where I'm coming from. Just a minute. I'm just trying to bring it up on the phone.
I'll drop a little bit of it into the chat, just the headline.
Yeah.
But then if you read it, that'll be great.
Okay. I titled the review, The Journey of the Black Guy in a Predominantly White Community Becoming a Good Guy, a Must Read. Having listened to Ben summarize his life history in the book Misunderstood at one of MMS Zoom meeting, I felt compelled to read this guy's life story. I wasn't disappointed. The book was compulsive reading from start to finish. From start to finish, describing his chaotic life, his chaotic childhood into adulthood, encompassing his drugs, lifestyle, violence, prison, leaving his past behind him to join the army and turn his life around, involving mentoring young people, the Prince's Trust, gaining awards along his journey. His story doesn't pull any punches. It's not sugar-coated. It's just told as it was. Written by a black guy living in a predominant white community and the racial issues that are inherent. A must-read for anyone interested in real-life stories and the bad guy becoming a good guy. I'm so proud of this guy and his achievements. And
Thank you
basically,
so much.
that's
Thank you so
really
much, Denny. Thank you.
One of these days we'll probably meet face to face, Ben.
Definitely.
Okay. What we're going to do now, Ben, we're going to have a conversation because although in Denny's review and the way the book will read, it will be kind of like a bad guy turned to a good guy. But we're going to talk about the background, a bit of the background to your story.
Yeah.
Without us, we don't want to really re-traumatize you either. So we'll have a nice, gentle conversation. Thank you so much, Denny.
Thank you, Danny. I
I'm
appreciate it.
going to bring you on now, Ben. Right. So here you are. Here we are, us. Right. Okay. Now, Ben, I know in the sessions that we had developing the book, we've talked everything so much, about your story, and we were able to bring out elements that were not in the first draft. I know that along the journey, you realized, you said, you know what, I wasn't going to say this, but I'm just going to put it in, you know. So my first question to you, why did you want to write a book?
A few reasons why. I wanted to leave a legacy for my children, because my dad left me fuck all, in terms of a legacy. For me to look at him as someone that I would be proud of. I wanted my children to realize that no matter what struggles you go through, their dad, that they can see that, like, I wanted to do things for them and everything was for them, and that their dad succeeded in a lot of adverse sort of situations.
Yeah.
The other reason, was to sort of stick my fingers up to people in my family, because they thought that I probably wasn't. Well, I know they thought I was going to amount to nothing, and constantly called me this, that. Still, a few of them now on social media, but that book is there to show that I sort of made it. And other than that, to show that young people, it's for young people, to show that these young people that I'm mentoring and that I'm helping, that they can understand that there's someone out there that's been through it. Do you know what I mean? That's gone through different sorts of traumas and that's still suffering now. Like I say in the book, I've been diagnosed with loads of mental health issues, but at the same time, I'm fighting through all that and still wanting to help young people not go through the same shit that I did, because they've got someone out there that cares for them, and there's a role model there for them.
Brilliant, Ben. Ben, what are you doing now? So can you just tell us, what has your last 5 days involved? What sort of things have you been doing each day? Because you're doing loads of different stuff. So just give the audience an idea of what life is like day to day now for you. What do you do?
I'm 24/7.
Yeah, where have you been going? Go on, sorry.
I'm 24/7. I'm working for Enable Shropshire Council, helping adults as a lived experience drug and alcohol worker, trying to get them into a better place so that they can be confident enough to get into work. I'm doing my documentary, so in the midst of trying to get it filmed in the summer. So on the phone to the director. I'm on podcasts, on radios. I'm doing private mentoring. I'm going to secondary schools. I'm going to Brinsford prison in April. So, and then I've got my kids as well. So um, everything's rock and roll at the minute without the drugs.
That's fantastic. And without the drugs, I love it. I love it. I love it. As you mentioned drugs, you know, the blurb of your book speaks about the fact that you were on drugs by the age of 10. So you were smoking weed by the age of 10.
Yeah.
How did that transpire?
What in terms of how did it start?
Yeah.
Do you know what? I don't really know how it started. It was just introduced to me.
Hmm.
Rab was one of them, and there was a couple of others, and it was it was a way of just get away from trying to get away from life at the time. I didn't know what it was as such. I didn't know like sort of the long term effects it was going to have on me. I just wanted to sort of get away from it, and I didn't think at that time there was anything wrong with it.
And you were
Um,
at primary school then.
yeah, yeah,
And when you were that age, and even before that, you spent a lot of time outside of your family home
yeah.
because,
Because of the abuse, like um, it wasn't just the abuse on me. I think my one of my brothers that was my stepdad and mum had, he's white. Um, he never got abused, and it was me that was the one that was feeling sort of the effects of it. And I think I say in the book, say it in my presentations. I didn't realize I was getting abused from the age of 8.
mm,
That come from my auntie Ali. But I just they were doing things to each other. They were going for their own personal sort of relationship
mm,
situation. My mum and stepdad,
yeah,
and I didn't know then, but I felt like I was the punch bag. I was the one that was getting everything taken out on me. But
mm,
as a kid who was black, I didn't even know I was black at one point. I didn't even
yeah,
know. I just thought I was like everyone else until I realized. I know it sounds mad that you're a different colored skin, but you start thinking, don't you, that why is it that they're taking their anger out on me, and why is it me and not him? And um, you start feeling neglected, like, and um, just needing to find some sort of love, or just you need to find yourself, and that's where I found drugs.
okay, okay. And in taking drugs, that it then led from weed, it then led you on to every drug. I mean, if you want to learn what drugs do to you, read this book because and oh how it impacts people. Read this book because Ben gives quite a comprehensive explanation of how different drugs impacted the way that he would behave. So, drugs were a major factor throughout your life. And again, tell us why do you think that it took a long time for you to actually stop using drugs?
Um, I think there was quite a few things. Um, a lot of my I've because I'm diagnosed now with epilepsy, and that's not through drugs, but I've had a lot of drug induced epileptic fits.
Mm,
I've not watched, but I've had friends that have overdosed and taken their lives through drugs. Um, I've seen many people, close friends that have lost, seen their kids due to drugs and that, and I was one of them. So there's a combination of stuff that has made me realize that it's not like drugs were clouding my sort of brain at the time, and just sort of putting a blanket over stuff that was really going on. I didn't realize probably that I was going through mental health problems and stuff. So I'd probably putting a blanket over it and sort of trying not to think about the stuff that was going on. So I've had to do it, and it's been a massive struggle with having to deal with the other side of it. But obviously, you come out better.
Yeah. Johnny Bradley's asking a question that I was going to ask. So I'm going to ask it, Johnny.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you go to rehab? Did you have counseling? What type of therapy have you had?
I still get therapy now.
Brilliant.
And that's not through that's not just through drugs, that's through therapy of things that have happened as a kid. So I've gone through sort of different counseling things, transactional analysis therapy. So transactional analysis therapy was due to the fact that I'm autistic as well. So they had to do certain different counseling stuff for me. Then I've had CBT, which hasn't worked. And then I've had private counseling, and now I'm getting CBT through my eating disorder. So there's a lot of different things that I've had issues with. I'm having different sorts of counseling, but it wasn't the counseling and therapy that helped me get off drugs. Not only that, I've got really good friends around me as well, that are a good support network, that have been in the same situation as me with drugs, but don't do it. And it's just, we've all stuck together.
That is beautiful. That is beautiful to hear. The other thing is, in your foundation, you had beautiful grandparents.
Yeah, I did, yeah.
And at the starting point of your life, your grandparents, you have some really fun memories at the beginning because you spent a lot of time with your grandparents, perhaps more than your mum in your formative years. Can you just talk a bit about Nan and Grandad?
Yeah, well, they're mum and dad. So they were my best friends. They were my life and soul of life. They protected me. I was safe being there. I still remember the house phone number 01743 356 398. They were my protection, and losing them, and I spoke about this in my presentation on Monday, and when losing my nan and granddad were I've lost friends through murder. I lost my best friend who unfortunately died, choked on his tongue and all that. I've lost all these, and I've gone through struggles with it. But losing my nan and granddad was like losing just losing myself. I lost myself, and because I remember little things, like not even little things. I remember at like Soccer AM used to be on at like 9 o'clock in the morning, so I'd go downstairs, have the blanket, and Grandad would give me the cookies and hot chocolate, because I was a fat fuck then. Sorry, but I was.
Language, Ben, language. It's all right. Be yourself.
Sorry. But like on Fridays, so Nan would do the shopping list. I'd always write down Pop Tarts. I'd always have strawberry Pop Tarts. I used to write my books at my nan and granddad's, and I still can't find them now. Well, I don't know where they've gone. I just had the best times that my nan and granddad should give me a couple of quid to go to the shops for sweets. She'd get me the Freeman's book, Nan would, so I could get some stuff from Freeman's. Every time it was my little brother's birthday, or like they were doing something for my little brother, my nan and granddad would have to get me something, and it's not because I asked for it.
Yeah.
They knew what was going on, and they did. As I've grown older, they knew exactly what was going on in my life. But they they were my life and soul. And yeah, they were mum and dad.
It sounds like you were their life and soul. So mom is a white woman, and your stepdad
Yeah,
was a white man, and your brother was a white as well.
yeah, yeah.
And at that time, you didn't realize that you were black, but
No,
you knew that you were treated differently.
yeah,
Would you say that you were treated differently because you were black?
no. I did. I did as when I was growing up as a teenager, probably into my early 20s. But I don't. It wasn't that at all. I think my mum had a lot of resentment due to um the person that my father is or was or
As
still
you
is now.
refer to in the book as the sperm donor.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but also their relationship wasn't great. And as I've found out over the past few years, and also from my stepdad at the time, there was stuff going on, and there was a lot of alcohol that was going on, and they were drinking. There were arguments and stuff, and I just thought I must have been the punch bag. I can remember telling my stepdad at the time
Mm.
about calling him out for being a racist. I can remember it. And he really got upset about it.
Wow.
And told me about like him going to Africa, like this was years and years,
Mm.
like
Mm.
when he was younger, to
Mm.
help kids and stuff like that. So I thought it was my mum that didn't like me because I was black, and then until I got into my late 20s, 30s, when I found out about her things that were going on, I realized
Okay.
it wasn't me. It was
What she was going through.
what she was going through. Yeah,
Okay. Okay. When you were a child, in your book, you describe yourself as being poor.
yeah,
You talk about another boy you're at school with, and you said he was poor too. So
yeah,
the other children went on holidays in the summer. But
yeah.
tell us the story about when you the stories that you and this other boy said. So this is in primary school, and what you'd do and where you'd said you'd been during the holidays.
So it was Holy Cross. Um, so it was where Nan and Grandad lived. So me and um, Mum was going to university at the
Hmm.
time, and we lived in a sleeping bag in Nan and Grandad's living room. And I used to go to school, and my friend, we loved Jurassic Park and we loved dinosaurs,
Yeah.
and it was I don't know who come up with the idea. It could have been both of us, but like we played out in Sutton Farm, and everyone go like even going on holidays in Wales. Like we hadn't even gone on a holiday in Wales, but everyone was like flying to like I don't know Disneyland or whatever, and we just somehow made up that we went to South Africa and went to Jurassic Park World or whatever,
Thick.
and we had to like the teacher, Mrs. Patterson, her name is or was. She asked us like, "What did you do in your school holidays?" So me and Damon were like, "Oh, we went to thingies. We had drew pictures of remember the Jurassic Park sign and all that, and the gates and
Yeah.
stuff like that." And that was because we had nothing to talk about, and we didn't do anything. I ain't gonna be saying that I'm sleeping in a sleeping bag.
Mm. Yeah,
So,
I hear that. I hear that. So I'm going to move
but
on to go on, carry on.
but like the thing is, I've had the life of where we've lived in like the flats in Monkmore. We lived in Milney Drive. We lived in Greenfields, and that Greenfields was the start of where like my mum went from this is why I always say she went from someone that I could relate to in terms of like knowing where she come from, but then she's now completely different, got a load of money, got properties everywhere, and a whole attitude towards of people of struggle. Yeah, it's like it's not that person that I knew when I was a little kid before he turned up. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Wow. Okay. So we're going to move on now to you went to prison a few times. But
Yeah.
one sentence in particular is where, as Joanna pointed out in the foreword, you went to prison, you were a neo-Nazi. So first you were a neo-Nazi, or you were surrounded by neo-Nazis, and then you did a prison stretch and you came out as this conscious black man.
Yeah.
Tell us that story.
So I got remanded. So people class that as not as a jail sentence, but you're still in jail. I was there for like 4 or 5 months before I got sentenced. So when I went in there, I was a bold-headed black boy that didn't like people of color, and I think I hadn't been at home, or I hadn't seen my mum for like 10 days when I rang her from Stoke Heath anyway. So going in there, it was a massive eye opener because there was loads of black people there, and I ended up becoming friends with football hooligans from Wrexham and that. But I, for some reason, started drifting towards, like, I don't know whether it's subconsciously or whatever, but I started drifting towards the black people and that. And the one lad might be online now, but they just ended up taking me under their wing. They wanted to understand more about me than I did about them, because they couldn't understand like how this black lad's this like black bold lad that doesn't like
Black skinhead.
black skinhead, yeah. And they took me under their wing, and I rolled with them, and they become my family. There was obviously a few white lads with us, but I embraced it, and I to this day I'm still grateful for them teaching me about myself, and let them reminding me that the people that certain people that I was hanging around with didn't like me because of the color of my skin, and that I was getting made a mug of.
Okay, that's brilliant. That's brilliant. And then moving on in your life, you went into the army.
Mm.
What was that all about?
For my own peace of mind, I did. I knew if I didn't do something about. Look, I was on 3 Section 18s just before I joined the army.
Explain what a Section 18 is, please.
Wounding with intent. It's 2 or 3. So wounding with intent. So with a weapon, it's wounding the person with intent to wound them. So I luckily had them dropped, and I had to wait 7 years. So you can imagine 7 years of trying to wait for your convictions to be spent. And then
so you wanted to get into the army for a long time. But
yeah. So when I left jail, I told my mum I was going to join the army, and she didn't believe me at all. So that was another reason why I wanted to join the army. But within that,
what was the reason?
To prove her wrong.
Yeah.
So it wasn't to serve the Queen or country at the time. But as things were progressing throughout the years, there were so many times I should have probably got life in prison within that time, but I was lucky that things didn't escalate to them situations for it to happen. So I stuck it out, but as time was progressing, I knew that if I didn't join the army and have a routine, have a structured routine, I'm not going to survive longer than like
Okay.
30 or whatever.
Yeah.
I was on a downward spiral, and I
Mhm.
needed it for I just needed to gain something back, and yeah, so that's why.
Okay. So violence features from the all throughout your life, Ben.
Yeah,
And for some people, they would wonder why would someone be so violent? Why? Now, you explain in the book that actually it's like you love violence more than sex.
yeah,
Violence was a release. Violence, getting in a fight or more violence and even getting hurt
yeah.
she was actually kind of soothed you and helped you to cope with life. Is there a way that you can kind of just talk about that and explain that to listeners?
Yeah, so I didn't realize, obviously, up until a few years ago, that I was diagnosed with ASD and ADHD, um, and a few other things. But the way I dealt with my emotions were through violence, and that was my way of being able to explain how I'm feeling, because I couldn't verbally tell you,
Press it. Mm,
express how I was feeling. So the way I expressed it was through hurting someone, and that gave me that release of got it off my chest
mm,
now. Do you know what I mean?
mm,
So it became something of, if it happened I can remember it. I still remember how I used to deal with it. So if I was okay for a few weeks to a month, yeah, and I could feel it in my body, and I'm like,
You
I need
needed
to
a
do something.
release.
I needed to release it. So there'd be a sit. I'd always get into a situation where that release would happen, where I'd end up getting involved in some altercation with someone, and
Mm,
then it'd be like, I'm okay now. Um,
okay.
so that's how it was, and then obviously as years have gone by, because I can't do that, I ended up taking it out on myself.
Okay. And how did you do that?
Um, I've tried hanging myself. Well, I didn't try and hang myself. I was hanging myself, and um, my friend walked in. I didn't call her, and she'd seen me, and she had to get me down. Put a kitchen knife through my right leg. Overdosed on prescription drugs, on non-prescription drugs. Um, yeah, that's how I used to try. Um, like obviously I was self-harmed and all that, in terms of like cutting myself. That's when I
Mm,
was a kid. But when I've wanted to sort of go, it's been like, I'm going to chuck all these substances into my body, or I'm going to do something
mm,
where no one can see it. But fortunately, someone turned up at the time and got me down.
that's wonderful. Because you were still meant to be here.
Yeah,
So Ben, are you okay?
yeah, yeah, sound, yeah, yeah,
You were meant to be here. Joanna said the same thing. You were meant to be still here. You've still got a purpose. You see, you got a purpose. So I'm going to invite the everyone on this call now to, if you want to, we're going to open it up for questions and answers. Okay, Ben. And
yeah, yeah, cool.
we had a question put in the chat from Johnny Bradley. I can't find him now, but Johnny was asking, did you have, let me just double check his question. Yeah, what advice would you give to someone wanting to stop taking drugs or giving up any addiction? What type of support and or therapy is best if you want to stop any addiction or drugs?
It's not. it's really, it's not that clear and cut. You can't just stop an addiction. You've always got that addiction.
Yeah,
Um,
that's
so
right.
you can't just stop it.
Mm-hmm.
There's obviously, you've got the 12-step program. You've got the AA. You've got all them meetings that you can go to. You've got,
Mm-hmm.
obviously, I work for Enable that we help. You've got stars. But ultimately, you need to want to do it yourself, and sort of
Yeah.
surround yourself by positive people. And unfortunately, when you're an addict, when you've been doing drugs for like 26 or 7 years or whatever it is,
Yeah.
there's always going to be a time where you can slip up. Or even if there's not a time when you're going to slip up, there's always going to be a time where you're going to have that urge to want to do something. So you've just got to, you've got, it's like you've got to mentally be strong in terms of your own mental health, and
Mm-hmm.
trying to make sure that you're okay and that life's going well and like you're in a good
Mm-hmm.
place. But you also need to make sure that you're still juggling with that demon, or that thing on the shoulder. Like, because if shit hits the fan,
Mm.
sorry, um, the easiest thing to do is go and pick up something or grab something, and you've just got to make sure that you've got good people around you that can help and support you.
Oh,
And
yeah.
you can have all the therapy in the world, but it's ultimately, I think, yourself as well.
Okay. Thank you so much, Ben. Do we have any other questions or comments from the audience? If you want to just either raise your hand or use the emojis and just signal, or just open your microphone and ask.
Can I ask a question, Marcia?
Denny, did you want to say
Yeah.
something else?
Yeah.
So,
What was the one defining moment? I was going through the characters thing that you realized you had to change. Did something just
um,
click in your head? Oh,
no, no, there was a load of different moments. It was sort of a build up of different situations. My twins being born was one of them. Um, the fact that I was watching people lose their lives, and take their lives, and that was another one. Um, Wanting to succeed as well. Like, I've always had that thing in my head where I wanted to succeed in life, and make sure that I want to be something. I want to make something out of my life so my kids can
Mm,
see that. But there's no defining moment. There's always little moments, and it just carried on through.
okay. Thank you.
okay.
Wonderful.
Thanks.
Okay. Norma? And Nina is saying that she's proud of. Nina, you can even open your mic and say it if you like. Um, Nina Churchill is saying, proud of everything you have become and stand for. Amazing what you are standing for. And Joanna says, you reached, Ben. Keep reaching. Okay, Johnny Bradley says, don't forget you're doing New Generation FC.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
So
the
to talk about the
football
football
team.
team. You're doing loads of things. Yvonne Gale also sent a message, but it'd be wonderful if you came on, even if you just open your microphones and told Ben.
No.
Yvonne Gale
Okay.
says, yeah, Nina, thank you so much.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hello. I'm in a client's house, so
Oh,
I
sorry.
can't really put my mic on. I'm really sorry, but I just wanted to say Ben is a dear friend, and just an exceptional human being. And I just reading the book, and I haven't finished it yet. I do apologize, Ben, but
It's okay, guys.
I just want to say you are so relatable. You know, I haven't walked the same shoes that you've walked, but there's aspects of your story that touch me so much that
Mhm.
makes me check myself.
Yeah.
And I find that such a gift. You know, it's like Ben has such a wonderful way of being under.
Are you there?
And I thank you so much for sharing it and having the courage to do that. It's
Thank
it
you.
really has an impact on me and my children and my family. Thank you so much, Ben.
Lovely beans. Thank you.
Wow, that's beautiful. And Yvonne Gale?
Yeah, I just wanted to encourage you, Ben, because although you're going through adversities, your book, to your readers, when they read it, they will realize how you've overcome adversities. So you are very relatable to a lot of young people, even adults,
Yeah.
who are going through, struggling with mental health issues. So you are touching lives, even if you don't feel like you are, you are.
Thank
So
you.
just keep doing what you're doing. And like Marcia said, you've got a purpose. You've not finished yet. You're on a journey.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
So
Thank
just
you so much.
keep being encouraged and do what you're doing.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
God bless you.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Oh, thank you, Yvonne. Thank you,
Okay,
Yvonne.
Marcia.
Yes, and Eileen?
Hello.
Yes.
Sorry, I lost my connection halfway through that.
Oh,
So
okay.
I had to plug my
Yeah.
phone back in. I
Okay.
mean, it's a Ben's just got a fascinating story, hasn't he, basically? And I mean, I met Ben on an engagement suicide prevention event that we had at Telford Meeting, and we kind of just got along on a very basic level. So hearing his experiences and his story were just fascinating. I think for anybody to kind of try and think of somebody of colour being a neo-Nazi football, going through what he did, but actually managing to turn that around into something positive, even though it's very difficult. I think it's just, it's an inspiring story, and I think that for me is really key to sort of trying to make sure that we do use those kind of experiences to help people who might be about to go through it. But Ben's done it so well. So for me, it's just it's a privilege to do work with him, and sort of we learn a lot from Ben each time that he's sort of speaking about his experiences, or writing books, winning awards, all of those things. They're all really, really positive, nice things to take along. So it's just an inspire. It's a sad and it's a difficult story, but it's also an inspiring story as well. So I take my hat off to him.
Thank you, Ali. You're ace. And I'll see you tomorrow as well.
See you tomorrow.
Yes, Eileen, I think that's you hit it on hit the nail on the head, really, that we have this inspiring story because Ben had suffered so much and has been through so much. But he's here now.
Yeah,
There
I
he
mean,
is.
just on something that was said earlier on, it was, and I can't quite remember the exact word, and it was like a bad turning, going from being a bad guy to a good guy.
Yes,
I would have said going from a good
child.
guy,
Yeah,
being turned into a bad guy, and
that's
actually
right.
managed to turn that around to be back to being a good guy. So I think it
That's
started off
right.
with somebody good. You didn't
Absolutely.
fundamentally start off as a bad guy. It was a journey through those phases.
I totally agree with that. Totally agree with that. That you know, Ben was a child born into a certain circumstance with some specific needs as well. Whether he actually was born with those specific needs or whether that happened as a consequence of adverse childhood experiences, we won't know we won't know the answer to all of that. So yes, I totally agree with you, Eileen. Totally agree with you on that. Would you say yes, Ben, as well to that?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely. Yeah.
brilliant. Juliet's saying you're an inspiration. When I found new generation coaching, it's because I was looking. What were you looking for, Juliet? You have to just say it now. See how I do it skillfully? If you can unmute, that's it.
Hi. I was looking for a lived mentor.
Okay.
Because basically my son's had therapy and things a lot in the past, and he didn't quite relate to textbook.
Yeah.
And then I realised that I actually knew Ben from back in the day.
Wow.
So I knew a bit of Ben's story anyway. So I gave him an email and he called me up, and the next thing he's round, and yeah, we're going through a really tough time at the moment, aren't we, Ben, my boy?
Yeah.
Big life-changing time for him, but yeah, we're very, very grateful.
We're getting there, though.
It's all moving quite well now, isn't it, Ben? It's moving fast. But the fact that I like that you're a lived mentor is because you actually know.
Yeah.
My son's been through similar experiences. And I'm searching through the internet where I found New Generation Coaching. It was quite a similar story. So, you really, the best way to help someone is if you relate.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, and it's going well. I'm really, really pleased. And well done, Ben. You're here and everywhere, aren't you, Ben? But, you're doing really well. Really proud of you.
No, I appreciate you. Thank you, Juliet. I really do.
I'm going off now, I'm shy.
Thank you, Juliet.
Okay.
Now, I also relate to what Juliet's saying because, I had a son. Well, I still have a son, but he's like the same age as you now, Ben. And but when my son was going through teenage years, I needed some support when he was going through those kind of 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 stages. And although I approached youth workers, they didn't have any knowledge or that lived experience to be able to really connect with a young person to take them through these testing times that they go through. So I think it is really, really important for you need to have the knowledge. You need to have knowledge, but lived experience is amazing knowledge in any circumstance. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely so valuable. Norma, were you going to say something, or Hootie? Let's see which one of you unmutes first. Oh, your microphone's closed, Hootie. Have to just open your microphone if you can, just the microphone button.
That
Oh,
one.
wonderful. Thank you.
Have I worked it? Does that actually work?
Yeah, you're
You've
Have I
done
done
it.
it? I think the amazing thing about Ben, though, he's always kept his chin up. And I've known him for a tiny bit. And
You've known me for years, Hootie.
What she means.
No, I'm joking.
When someone says a tiny bit, it means they've known you for a long time.
Yeah. And you know what? Even when he was going through so much, he always still kept a smile.
Yeah.
And he's always spreaded the love. It's unreal. And now he's always made these little differences, but it's a beautiful thing just from what people are just saying tonight, that he's not making just differences, he's making a change and an impact.
Yes.
And that's a beautiful thing. And like you said, that was never around before, so it's changing time as well.
Absolutely.
And it's amazing that he's actually going out doing that, and it's just incredible. But yeah,
thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you. And Norma.
Oh, good evening.
Good evening.
Hi, Ben. Hi, Ben.
Hello.
I have not met you, Ben, but I have heard so much about your book, and I would definitely be buying your book. You're an inspiration.
Thank you.
You have been through so much as a child and a young person, and it could have gone a different way for you, but obviously there was somebody looking out for you, whether it's somebody praying for you or you just you're just a good person, but caught up in bad things.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And I am so
Yes.
pleased. I'm so pleased that you are doing what you're doing. And there's so many young people out there that need to hear from you how
Yeah.
you've overcome some of the difficulties that you've experienced. And as I say, not make you, but I feel I'm quite tearful at the moment, actually,
Yeah.
listen to your story. I'm so proud.
Thank you.
Proud as if you were my own child.
Oh.
And thank you for sharing.
Oh,
No
that's
And
problem.
God bless
Appreciate it.
you. Bless
thank
Thank
you,
you.
Norma.
Keep sharing. You know, keep sharing, and keep helping.
You
There's
make
so
me
many
cry.
youngsters out there who need your help. And
Mm-hmm.
as
Thank you.
Marcia said, back in the I'm actually a social worker
Retired.
and was the manager of the retired manager of the fostering team. But we didn't have people, because it's okay doing the theory, but we've not had people who have actually lived
Yeah.
the experience, who have come into that work to be able to say, well, I understand what you're going through. I didn't understand with some of the children I work. I didn't understand what they were going through because it's not the experience that I've lived.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it is good that you are sharing that. And if I was there, I'd give you a huge hug and just keep going. Okay. And thank you for inviting me, Marcia.
Thank you
Thank
so
you, Norma.
much. By the way, that's my mummy.
Good night.
If you didn't know.
Yeah, I was there. I was there at your awards, wasn't I?
Oh, you've met her, haven't you? You
Yeah,
met
I
him.
did. Yeah,
Well, you probably didn't
yeah.
get to meet
I
properly.
didn't get to speak to her,
Yeah,
no.
yeah,
But I
yeah,
heard her do. She done a talk, didn't she? I
yeah,
heard Norma
yeah,
do a talk. It was
yeah. And she
lovely.
lives in Portugal, so
Yeah.
she's not always over here. But yeah, something else I was going to add. I've got thrown now saying it's my mum. But yeah, it's really important. Ben,
Yeah,
what's your next move? I mean, you've tell us about before we go.
yeah.
It's about the story about when you got your last award, the award at what's it called again? Oh my God. No, your
The
award.
blacker one.
Yeah, tell us about that because I love the whole story about that.
Well, do you know what? I've never been in. I've never won an award ever. And I had a phone call. A phone call to say that I'd been nominated as a finalist, and obviously at the Black Awards, it's based around up north in it towards like London, Birmingham, Liverpool, all them areas, and they're saying, "Oh, we're down Shrewsbury," and I was thinking, what? Like, how can like the Black Awards being in Shrewsbury is the
Yeah.
maddest thing ever when there's no like, well, there is a it's grown in terms of uh, um, people from different ethnic backgrounds now, but it was the last place I thought that was going to happen. And obviously, at the time when I was nominated, that Ginger J was also nominated as well. And
For the
I
same
literally
award category as you.
same award category, and I was like, I ain't even going to bother. I literally was not going to bother turning up because he's a multi-millionaire. He's got hundreds of thousands of people following his TikTok, his Instagram. I watch pen games as well, so when I'm watching him, and then
Yeah.
me and him got a photo together and that, and then I beat him. It was just like, um, it was like I left the Shrewsbury Town Ground to go outside. I did because I didn't want to hear the awards getting called out,
Because you
and
just
then
felt, well, Ginger J's got it. He's just this, everybody knows Ginger J. Yeah.
yeah.
However,
Yeah, well, I won it, and Plomer Plomer had come downstairs to grab me back up. He's like, "You're on," and I'm like, "Nah, nah, nah." So Dribs and Alex and all that were there, and then next minute, Akon was playing, and I won, and I was, yeah, I I even slept with the awards in the bed. Do you know what I mean? So like
Oh,
it
yeah.
was it's yeah, it was an amazing feeling of winning that award. And um yeah, and then we've got another awards ceremony in April, haven't we?
We have, and you're up for an author award this time, which is
Yeah,
wonderful. Then, but yeah, congratulations on winning that award. And I can
thank
just
you.
imagine how it felt. Well, I know how it felt when I just out of the blue won an award that I never expected to win about 11 years ago. And that feeling is so phenomenal. Um, but you know who you are though, don't you? You know
Yeah,
what you're
yeah,
made of, yeah?
yeah. I know that. I know. Like I know. I had this conversation today actually
Mm-hmm.
at the mental health first aid about knowing like who you are in terms of, and it's so I know who I am,
Yeah,
but it's you every day you're still dealing with the thoughts and the feelings that are going on
yeah,
in your head, but it's more controllable and more manageable when you've got a good routine, when you've got good people around you and people that actually love and care for you, that want what's best for you. Because it's been it's it's taken me it's taken me a fair few years to, even when I'm at work with Enable, I hate doing good news stories. Yeah, because they're always like, we'll do a good news story, and I'm like, yeah, I'm all right, yeah, like, and I don't like talking about it, but I have got to the stage where I need to feel proud about, like, and Drib says it as well, like about um like like appreciating your flowers, like someone's giving you flowers, like you deserve
absolutely.
the flowers. Um,
Absolutely.
so it's something I am getting sort of used to. It'll still take
Mhm.
time, but I'm getting used to it. But yeah, I know who I am.
Brilliant. Joanna?
Oh, yeah. So I was thinking, I'm, happy to listen to everyone speak. Happy to listen to Ben speaking. I really feel like I'm not sure. I'm trying to tune into who I am in this because I kind of feel like I'm a proud auntie, proud sister, a proud mummy. I
Yeah,
feel like a proud everything all
yeah,
rolled into one, right?
Yeah,
So I wasn't going to speak because I'm just starting to soak it up,
sorry.
listen, because we've never met. I feel like I know you. And one day I hope to meet you, and I'm going to give you one big squeeze. I can tell you now.
Well, Joanna,
But
Ben will be in London on
yeah, that's
April
what
the
I was
11th.
thinking. Yeah, look, the London, because I'm in Kent, right? So we're
Right.
far away
I
geographically.
know.
Um, but what I want to say is that because the conversation's kind of led there anyway, so it's almost like I feel like, okay, because you're meant to say this. One of the things that I really love, Ben, is that you're so humble. Even
mm,
earlier on, it's like people are saying all these things and your face is, you're there, and then like every now and again a smile will come, and I'm like,
Yeah,
that's it, Ben, you're allowed to smile. You're
yeah,
allowed, this is good and this
yeah.
is
Receive
okay.
it.
To receive it, yeah, exactly, Marcy, to receive
Yeah.
it, but yeah, I feel like I love that you're humble, but also you're allowed to take this on, right?
yeah,
Because this is you, like this is what you're doing, this is what you've achieved,
Mm-hmm.
this is all you, right? So it's okay to
Absolutely.
feel, just even if it's for a minute, for a second, to feel like, yeah, I mean that, like, like you're
Yeah,
allowed to do that, you're
yeah,
allowed to feel like that, and
yeah.
it's lovely. It's
Beautiful.
lovely. And I 100% agree with what Eileen said and
Mm,
Marcia said
mm,
about the kind of goodness that's always been there, because
absolutely.
everybody can get involved in stuff. Everybody can do, all of us. One of my mantras is we're one mere step away from each other, all of us,
Absolutely.
right? Everybody, anybody. But that goodness was always, and I just want to end by saying this because it's just triggered in my mind. It's an African proverb that I saw on a library wall once in
Mm,
Stratford in
mm,
East London. And I say this to parents when they say, oh, so Juliet, when they say, oh, but my child this, and I'm worried, and they're doing this and they're doing that. And the proverb is that the stream always runs back to the river, right? So the river always exists. It
yeah.
doesn't matter where you go off
Yeah.
to, you'll come back. You'll come back. You know,
Yeah.
and I 100% agree with when
Beautiful.
Eileen and Marcy were saying that. Yeah. So
Beautiful.
yeah, just Ben,
Thank you,
just
Joe.
congratulations, man. Really.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank
Really
Love
you.
it.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Right, Ben. Thank you, Joe.
Yeah.
Right. My final question, because we're not going to run over. Can you just tell us about what gives you what gives you joy in the work that you do with young people?
Well, I just want them to be joy, making sure that they are looked after and they're happy and they are getting what they deserve. That's what makes me happy and that's what brings me joy. I don't I've when I see young people like getting to the places that they deserve to get to, and obviously helping the parents as well, or if they haven't got the parents that they haven't that aren't there, then I want to be there to make sure that they succeed in life. Cayman, who was on there, is a prime example. I've been with him since the age of 14, and I was his key worker in care. I'm godfather to his son, and he's now 23, 24, 24 now. And we literally speak every day. Comes to my house. I help him with certain things. He helps me. I've been there for 12 years with him. And I just want to make sure that he, as like other young people, even adults as well, that they just deserve what they deserve what God gave them, and when people have taken that stuff away from them, into like not God, but in terms of people that not nice people, then I want to be that person that gives them their flowers and gives it them back, and like show they can see that they're worth more than what they think they are, because they're better than that, and that's me. That's all I have been, and that's me as a person.
That's wonderful. Wonderful, Ben. I know that this book is being read by all age groups from 14, 15-year-olds, and I'm getting fantastic feedback about your book. Right up to 80-year-olds are reading your book and love
Right.
your book, you know. The other feedback I got was that one of the other authors was in Costa Rica
Costa
recently
Rica, yeah.
on tour with the work that they do, and they were on a beach and they were on the beach and they saw my logo, someone reading a book with my logo, and the person on the beach was reading your book.
No
And
way.
that was amazing, amazing to hear. Honestly, I mean, I'll say my niece is 15, and I was giving people some books for like their birthdays, and I wasn't sure if, because she's actually a very kind of this really innocent, well, she's 16 now, actually, 16-year-old. When she had her sweet 16th, she was a proper sweet 16, and I wasn't sure whether she could read a book, you know what I mean? And then I
Yeah,
said,
I
you
get
know
it.
what?
Yeah.
Let her read it. She's 16. She has not stopped raving about this book, and I want to meet Ben, and and this happened, and this. So every age, so you are touching, your story is touching so many lives, Ben. Ben, what's your next move before I go? I think I've probably asked you this earlier, but I'm asking you again.
Next move. I want to get this documentary and this film out, and the kids' book is the next one,
Oh,
which
yeah.
obviously I'm going to discuss.
Mm-hmm.
And then I've actually been speaking to someone who will help me. I don't know how long it's going to take. It take years and years and years, but there's someone that's willing to help me because I want my own school. Like I want to build my own school
Fantastic.
somehow. I don't know where and how, but it's been something I wanted to do for years and years. And
Beautiful.
I've managed to I've managed to speak to someone over the past week or so that feels that they're willing to help me succeed that, but I've got other things that I want to do first.
Okay. And you'll do them.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
Years ago, like I know that about you because you wanted to get into the army. It took 7 years and you did it.
Yeah.
You told Joanna years ago you're going to write a book. You did it. You've not only written the book, but it's out there and you're getting rave reviews for the book. You know, you're going on tour with the book. You're getting awards for the book now, and your story is spreading. You are, well, you're just such a blessing. But not only that, you're a superstar. You're an absolute superstar, you know, and we go through adversity, you know, and there are people who go through adversity, especially adverse childhood experiences, who don't who just kind of just can stay in the trauma. And whilst we may still have some trauma and we still go through traumatic moments, we can still move forward, can't we? And follow our purpose. And that's what you're doing. And it's wonderful. And I feel like I want to hug you. I think we all just want to hug him, don't we? We'll have to do some virtual group hug here. But Ben, thank you so much. And I'm so it's just so wonderful that you know, the universe, God has brought us all together to do this book. And I wish you all the best.
Thank you, and I wish you all the best. And love you, Marcia. I love you all, people. I love you all. Thank you so much.
Everyone for coming. Who was meant to be here is here. The recording will be uploaded onto YouTube, and it will be, Ben will have the links, and then we need to share this because all of this is going to help to promote his book as well. Thank you so much. Thanks, Ben. We did it. We did it. All right.
Thank you, Ben. All the best. God bless you.
Bye. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.